Okay, so let's go ahead and go to another one. As you can see, just visually, no upper shadow means strong downtrend. These right here, when it doesn't have a lower wick, it means strong uptrend. So let's go ahead and talk about the limitations of high Kanashi candles. I always keep it real. Nothing's going to be 100% when it comes to the stock market. I really want you to understand that. Hence, confluence is definitely the way to go because you're able to mix and match different things when it comes to price action. High Kanashi candlesticks do not show the true price. So what I recommend you to do is that if you do like high Kanashi candles, you can actually have two charts side by side, one with the traditional candlesticks and another one with the high Kanashi candles, right? Because you will be able to interpret the actual true price. The other one will give you a confirmation of whether or not we're actually in the trend. Is the trend still intact? That is what the high Kanashi candles are able to provide you. So let's go ahead and start cooking. Let's get the sauce going. I'm gonna go to TradingView real quick, and I'm first gonna show you how to turn your candlesticks into high Kanashi, right? So first, here's what I want you to do. As you can see here, I'm on TradingView on the 5 minute for Microsoft. The reason why I have Microsoft here is because I have a really good example that I do want to show you. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and go to my other one. I'll choose this one, right? For this right here, I'm first going to do it on SPY. And let's go ahead and do high on the daily. Let's start with the higher time frames, and then we'll go up. Let me go and remove all this stuff. And what I want you to do is that I want you to go right here where it says candles, and I want you to choose high Kanashi. Right? High Kanashi makes it a lot more visually appealing for you to understand a trend. And even right here, when we had the downtrend to 370, what happened? Just quickly, is this a uptrend right here? Drop a 1 if that's an uptrend. Would it be easy for you to understand and identify that that was an uptrend? Drop a 1. Yes, right? Now, let me go ahead and change that back into a regular candlesticks. Would have it been easy, again, if you don't know about the different strategies for you to understand that we would have had a crazy bounce off 372. Not really, right? It's not as clear. But if I change it back to high Kanashi candles, what do we see? Just that color change from red, we bounced off what? We bounced off a critical support. Again, you see how I always come back to support and resistance. I don't care what indicator I'm using. I will always use price action as my number one. As you can see here, what do we have? Support. Every single time we bounce off. We can't seem to break unless this time 370, right? So we see here 370, we go from what? A red candlestick to a what? A green candlestick. Now, just so that everybody's on the same page, do these candlesticks have any lower shadows? Yes or no? Would that indicate a trend change? Drop a 1 if you believe so. 100%. Look at that. What do we see here? Red to green, bounce off a critical. Now we have 3 different things. And what do we see? Boom. A rally all the way from 376 to the top of 395. Are you setting the support and resistance? Yes. Great question. So I am setting the support and resistance. So here's what I would do. This is a phenomenal question. Drop a 1 if you want me to walk you through from a candlestick pattern, how I do support and resistance, and then how I add the additional conflict with the, okay, yeah, there's a whole bunch of ones already. Yeah, with the high Kanashi. So here's what I do. I go back into candles. And for those of you who have been around, you guys know what I do when it comes to this. Again, you could put it into a line. I'll work myself bottom to top, or if not top to bottom. So I'll get this one right here. And again, I'm looking for multiple touches, right? Multiple touches that are obvious. I'm not looking for stuff that is not obvious. If it's not obvious, it's not a critical level, right? It has to be obvious. And all I want to see is just the multiple touches. Go right here. Boom. Excellent. Another one right here. Another one right here. Right. And again, I'm looking to see 2 to 3 touches minimum. The more touches, the better. The more touches, the more critical it is, right? Go for another one, right? And I'll do 2 more just because of the sake of time. Boom, right here. And let's do 1 more. Let's find this one, right? From there, now I go into high Kanashi. And look how high Kanashi still respects all these different levels. I'm going to give you a quick gem before I just go back into talking about the high Kanashi. We talked about order blocks, right? We mentioned that this right here could be a potential order block. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, right? Isn't it crazy that this right here was an automatic order block, and that's why SPY broke down? Isn't it crazy that we're having a quite challenging time to break above 415? What does that tell you? That we may have what? We may have a 415 is indeed a supply zone, and we may have what? Another drop. Another drop could happen. Is it 100%? No, but taking into account what happened here, this exact same behavior, again, price will always repeat itself. history and price action will always repeat itself. Hence, this what happened here. We came to 415, we dropped. Now we come back up to 415. What are the two things that can happen here? Can somebody break down what's the plan for SPY? What are the two things that can happen? We can either do what or what? Anyone, just drop it in the chat. We can either break what, but what level? You got it. Gene, great job. Chanel, great job. We can either 415 like this, retest, and then finally go back to the 420s, or we can come back down and break 406, and it will repeat what happened here. If we do go down, let's say we do go down like how it happened here, would that make it an order block? Drop a 1 if you believe so, drop a 2 if you do not. It will indeed make it an order block, and it will definitely indicate that you have banks that are putting in 10 million, 20 million to sell SPY one more time at that exact same level. Drop a 1 if that makes sense, if that's helpful. I just wanted to drop that in there because I want you to visually see what's going on today when it comes to the market. Okay, excellent, excellent, right? So Heikin-Ashi candles, right? I first plot my support and resistance. That's the first thing that I do every single day. Angel, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. I do that thing I do that every single time before I come into the market. And as you can see, the Heikin-Ashi candles, they really respect my levels. 415 is still being respected, right? And Heikin-Ashi candles, and Milan, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. The Heikin-Ashi candles are very, very powerful when it comes to swing trades, right? Because this right here could have ignited a swing trade, right? This right here could have ignited a swing trade. Now, let's go back on how to interpret, because I really want you to make it, I want you to it be super, super easy for you to identify whether or not we are in a downtrend or a uptrend. So let me go ahead and just quickly change my colors when it comes to my levels. Is this right here a downtrend? Is that a downtrend Heikin-Ashi candle? Drop a 1 if you believe so, drop a 2 if you do not. So if that's a downtrend, then what is this? Base, and you got it. Gene, great job, brother. Yep, 100%. Excellent job. Excellent job. Okay, so what is this right here? Uptrend, right? Uptrend. And oftentimes, before we see a trend change, what's going to happen? We will have a base, like how we did right here. This was perfect. Look at that. Uptrend, uptrend, uptrend. Oh, now we're trying to consolidate. That right here was the first indicator, right? That right there was unfortunately, there's no replay option for Heikin-Ashi candles. I tried it 1,000 times. It doesn't work, unfortunately. But what I want you to do is that I want you from now on, or as tomorrow, I want you to trade with it side by side. So I want you to trade like this, where you have the traditional candles. So what you're able to understand, the investors replay. I'm not too sure. Hopefully there is. But you're able to see what is the true price and then what is the Heikin-Ashi price. So right now, again, I always like to come back down to what's today. Are we in a trend, or are we sort of consolidating right now when it comes to SPY? Taking into account what Heikin-Ashi is, base, right? We're definitely base, right? We're definitely consolidating. If you see a candlestick like this one form right here, would that indicate a downtrend now? 100%. 100%.